afternoon, everyone. We'll call this afternoon's meeting of the Capital District Transportation Authority to order. We do have a quorum. Thank you all for being here today. The agenda is in the first page, the cover page of our packets. Are there any additions or alterations to the agenda? Hearing none, could I have a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So second.
I think that was Ms. Figueroa and Ms. Nugent in one or two. Either way. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the agenda stands as approved. The minutes from the July 26th board meeting run from page 2 through page 13 of our packets. Any adjustments, corrections, or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, can I have a motion to accept the minutes?
Page 12, line 3, somebody forgot to put an I, a dot over the I. I'm doing that, remember, our friend, I'm only kidding.
So that's a motion. Motion by Mr. Sporetta, second.
Second.
Mr. Lahat, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes and approved. All right, we have 4 recognitions today. First up is a 25-year Albany Division bus operator, Dolores Womack.
So I'm going to apologize, Dolores. Apparently we had our signals confused and didn't think you were coming to the meeting. So unfortunately, we're both up here left with, come on in here, you know, Rose
In the middle,
okay.
that's right.
But we don't have a write-up, so, you know, it's the ultimate tap dance. Great employee, comes to work every day, right?
Yes,
Every day.
pretty much, yes.
I should know what route you're operating, but I don't.
13.
13 New Scotland Avenue, which is interesting, right?
Yes.
For those of you that don't know, it starts in downtown Albany, over Lark Street, up through the Albany Medical Center, which is one of the fastest growing locations in our region, and if nothing else, probably one of the most congested.
Yes, all the construction and everything.
So no accidents, no incidents, comes to work every day, operates through one of the most congested neighborhoods in the 4 counties. Like all of the employees that we bring to the board meeting, exemplary in everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Meredith Redcross, our benefits coordinator with 20 years of service. Meredith has worked in our Human Resource Department for the past 20 years as our benefits coordinator. Meredith joined the CDTA team because her husband was working here at the time, and a family friend told her she should apply. As our benefits coordinator, Meredith has an important job that touches every corner of the company. She is our resident expert on healthcare benefits, retirement benefits, and everything in between. She says it's a privilege for her to interact with the current employees and our retirees every day. That is her favorite part of the job and what makes the job more than just a job. And anyone who knows Meredith will tell you that she will go out of her way to help someone. Meredith says she finds it extremely rewarding to help other people. Her career has spanned 20 years at CDTA because she enjoys the people she works with and what she does. She uses the word amazing to describe her coworkers and says they are more like family than friends. In her free time, Meredith can be found spending time with her son, her fiance, and her new puppy. Meredith says talking about the end date for her career is not in the near future, She says she loves working here and she's not ready to let that go. Meredith, thank you for all your hard work for the past 20 years. We appreciate it, and we know our employees and retirees do as well.
Thank you.
I also had the pleasure of working with Meredith when, as a pension trustee, Meredith worked for the pension plan as well. So, several years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Thank you.
Who's your favorite boss?
I did work on the farm when I first started here, and Mike.
Sorry, Mike.
Here's a sensitive.
Thank you.
Probably why I'm a favorite. So I argue. Be careful you don't trip on
Next up is Robert Springer, a paint shop technician, 20-year service award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Bobby said I'm still here.
Not going over yet, Carl.
Don't hit him so hard, you're brake arm.
Bob Springer joined CDTA 20 years ago after being encouraged by friends that were already working here. His friends told him that CDTA was a great place to work because it was more than a job, it was a career. He started his career as a bus operator in 1997 and then decided to try the other side of the house, the maintenance department. Started as a cleaner, worked his way up to a technician, and then made the move to the paint shop in 2015, where he has been ever since, keeping our fleet looking spectacular. Bob enjoys working in the paint shop because every day is different and every day is a new challenge. Painting and doing body work is very creative, which he enjoys. Recently, Bob and the crew of the paint shop were tasked with transforming one of our buses into the rolling billboard you saw outside today to support the American Cancer Society's Real Men Wear Pink campaign. When they were told about the special project, the reaction was, bring it on. And as you can see from the finished product, they knocked it out of the park. Bob tells us his decision to stay at CDTA all these years was an easy one. It's a great job with great benefits and great people. He tells us his co-workers feel more like family than friends. In his free time, he enjoys hunting, riding his motorcycle, and watching his daughter's volleyball games. We asked Bob what's on the horizon for him in his career at CDTA. He says right now he's enjoying his work life and doesn't have any plans to make a change. Congratulations on 2 decades here. We appreciate your commitment and your hard work every day. Thank you. Please welcome Sue Bartlett, Troy Plus operator with 25 years of service. Congratulations. Sue started working at CDTA in 1992 as a part-time star operator. She spent about a year there before making the switch over to fixed street operations in Troy, where she has been ever since. Sue was encouraged to apply for the job with CDTA by her father, who was a bus operator here at the time. Her father told her it was a great job, great benefits, and we can't argue that. Sue currently drives the Route 190, which goes from Crossgates Mall to Colony Center, the Wolf Road area, finishing up at Latham Farms. Her favorite part of being a bus operator is the new people that she meets every day. She tells us it's like the Girl Scouts say, keep your old friends and make new ones. She has spent the last 2+ decades with us for a variety of reasons, but Sue says the camaraderie with her fellow bus operators in the Troy division is the main reason she has stayed with us. She says it's a supportive and fun environment, which makes it easy to come to work every day. In her free time, she loves to go camping and fishing, spending time with her grandkids, and she really loves riding her motorcycle with her husband and co-workers. We asked Sue what's on the horizon for her career at CDTA. She says she plans to work for another couple of years, and then she would like to retire and spend time with her husband and grandkids. Sue, congratulations on 25 great years. We appreciate your dedication and service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, you know, this is the part that never gets old for me. Honestly, I'd like to tell you that awards and the intricacies of transit keep me coming back every day, but it's really the people who work here that keep me coming back every day. You know, the two bus operators, Sue and Dolores, both of the routes that they operate are high volume, working routes. You know, they're working for a living. They're not getting much of a break. They're not out of the seat very often. They just do a wonderful job every day. There's common denominators, come to work on time, all that kind of stuff that we rely on. You know, Bobby Springer, there's a lot of little stories that he and I know, but you know, he dedicated guy. You know, bring it on is probably the best way to describe Bob Springer. You know, he keeps the fleet going. And last but certainly not least, Meredith Red Cross takes complicated health insurance issues and explains them to bus operators and technicians and authority staff and maybe most importantly to our retirees, and converts it into English so that they can understand it. And I don't say that in any demeaning sort of way, but you all know that health insurance is sometimes very difficult to understand. And oftentimes when Meredith gets with them, there's a problem in their life. That's why they go to see Meredith. There's a problem. Something they didn't get paid for, something got denied, something didn't get done. She navigates them through. So, you know, 4 different people from somewhat different perspectives, but sort of gives you a really nice picture of what goes on here. So they do a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, committee reports. Not on the agenda, but governance did not meet, so that's just a report in the negative. Just why it's not on the agenda, I suppose. Performance Oversight Committee met on September 20th here at 110 Watervliet Ave. We have a number of agenda action items for your consideration and hopefully approval. First up is the award of a contract for planning software licensings. CDTA uses the Remix software program to allow planners to sketch out routes in any city and immediately understand the cost and demographic impact of a proposed change. At the beginning of our involvement with Remix, the tool was freely available. As the software and company started to mature, CDTA entered into a pilot agreement with Remix to start using the tool for a small fee, and we provided feedback to the developers regarding enhancements to the software. That agreement has expired. There is nothing that meets our needs in the way Remix does, and the pricing has been reviewed and deemed to be fair and reasonable. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to award a 3-year sole source contract for planning software to Remix of San Francisco, California, for a total amount of $107,000.
Motion, move that forward.
Motion by Mr. Sperana. Second, Ms. Valentico. Thank you. Any discussion on the resolution? Yes, Mark.
How did you determine that nothing else meets the needs?
We did a, excuse me, well, we've been to several events of similar vendors, evaluated other free and demo versions of the software, and these guys did the best job.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Are other transit authorities using this in upstate?
In upstate, I don't know about upstate, but across the country, there's probably at least 30 or 40.
Remember using strength. Remember the committee meeting that we the board retreat we had that we used string?
Yes.
This replaces the string.
That's fine.
That was what we discussed in the committee meeting. Big upgrade. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is carried. Thank you. Next up is the approval for a lease for a company rental, for car rental company space at the Rensselaer Rail Station. One of the amenities that CDTA makes available for its customers at Rensselaer Rail Station is car rental services. The current contract has expired. Therefore, a scope of services was developed that identified requirements for a rate schedule, availability of parking spaces, signage, removal of vehicles, and lockbox services. A committee was established to review the two submitted proposals, and it was concluded that the best fit for the station was to enter into an agreement with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, which is the incumbent. They proposed two rate schedules, and the selected plan provides for an annual fixed rent of $75,000 with additional payments of 10% over a sales break point of $750,000 per year. At this time, I ask for a motion to award a 3-year contract with 2 one-year extensions for providing car rental services to LRAC LLC, doing business as Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ms. Figueroa. This is on, I'm sorry, I'm following my agenda here.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Yes, page 18 in the packets. Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Roth. We have a motion and a second. Discussion on the revenue from the car rental at the Rensselaer Rail Station. Mark?
Small question where it says additional payments of 10%, does that mean additional 10% over 750?
Yes, so any sales over the $750 annual amount, we get 10% of the overage.
What is the agreement now? How much do we receive in the rent?
This is the incumbent.
Right,
I don't know the line, Mike, do you know the line?
It's 72,000.
okay, so modestly.
And these are, I don't know how many more of these will come our way, but we had the renewals for the coffee shop as well as the newsstand in the train station. Most of these were all done at the same time, so we're going to start to see the renewals come through. Hasn't been a lot of competition. I mean, I don't think on those other two we had any competition. Was there any on this?
On the car?
Yeah.
It's 2.
Two? Okay.
And they offered, in all fairness, they had offered to negotiate with us, not go through the procurement process, which we can't do. I suspect that if we probably could have gotten more money if we had negotiated this. We follow the procurement guidelines. Sometimes it works for you, sometimes it works against you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is carried. Thank you. Next up is the approval of an insurance policy extension. At our last board meeting, the board approved the one-year contracts for our auto and general liability insurance program and our auto physical damage insurance program. Policy terms are effective from August 2017 to August 2018. Due to market changes beyond our control and the many discussions between Rose and Kiernan and potential carriers, Rose and Kiernan is recommending that we consider changing the time of the year we procure this insurance in order to put us in a more competitive environment. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to extend the insurance policies for auto general liability insurance with New Hampshire and Scottsdale Indemnity from August 27, 2018 to November 9, 2018 for an additional $82,007. And that we extend the insurance policy for auto physical damage with Lexington Insurance from August 27, 2018 to November 9, 2018 for an additional $40,170. Resolution is page 22 in the packets, authorizing an extension of insurance policies.
I'll move resolution 56-2017.
Thank you, Mr. Lott.
Second.
Ms. Nugent, thank you. Discussion on the resolutions?
We went around this before, haven't we, about Lexington, and this is pretty good, a good outfit, and you like it.
Maybe a little background on this issue. This really comes out of a committee discussion that's been going on for a couple of months. I guess really the lack of competition, and then this year, a bit of a spike in our premium costs. And we went back to, and Mike and Rick can give you the details here, but the short, the Reader's Digest version, went back to our brokers at Rose and Kiernan and said, what can we do what can we do? Our programs are solid, everything is good, but yet our rates are going up. They think that the time of the year that we were out in the marketplace was not exactly the best time, and that fall was a better time to be in the marketplace. So, we're taking the word for it. We'll see. There's no additional cost to us. We're just extending the cycle, so to speak. And it also gets us a little closer. Jamie had noted it gets us a little closer to the fiscal year. It's easier to bump it eventually, hopefully in April. But there's not a whole lot of rocket science here. We're taking a little bit of a, it's not even a gamble, but we're trusting Rose and Kieran. Is it, did I miss anything? No. Maybe I think it was recollection from the committee meetings.
Yep.
You're right, though, Joe. It's been talked about for a bit.
Well, I think the other thing we run into is that it's a scramble a little bit in the summertime for us because we don't meet in the month of August. So the policies as they currently exist renew at the end of August. So we're asking the insurance companies to leave their prices open longer than we would normally than they would otherwise do. So the additional premium is a pro rata increase. It's not, they're not doing a surcharge or a bump or anything. And unfortunately, we're also thinking that with the market where it is right now, this may be advantageous because if we renew in August of 2018, as we were scheduled to do, we might see an increase in rates again, given everything that's going on in the world with natural disasters right now. So this may end up being advantageous on a price perspective as well, but we won't know that until next year. Mark?
Just clarify, when it says vehicles, does that mean buses?
It's our whole fleet. So buses, cars. Yep.
It's close to 300 vehicles totally much too.
In any case, there's no harm in doing this. Like
No.
you said, it's not costing us more per month.
And if Rose and Kieran thinks they can put us in a more competitive environment and maybe get more interest in bidding on the insurance, that may help with the pricing as well. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is carried. Thank you. All right, the fun part of the meeting is accepting money. So, accept mobility payment, mobility program funds. The New York State Department of Transportation recently announced approximately $10 million in awards to fund projects to support the enhanced mobility of seniors and individuals with disabilities program. CDTA secured $172,304, which represents 80% of the project cost for activities related to the program. These funds will be used to fund travel trainers who assist the public with becoming familiar with the CDTA system and trip planning. This time I'd ask for a motion to accept these funds in an amount of $172,304. The resolution is on page 25 of our packets.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Figueroa, second Ms. Nugent. Thank you. Discussion on the resolution? Questions?
Are you trying to reach out to star people, is it, or is this everybody?
Well, it's everybody. It's people who use Star and people who use fixed route service. You may be familiar with the two women who do this work for us. They do a lot of different things. They're called trip planners. Literally, they can hold a person or a company by the hand and show them how to use our services. They work with people in the disability community. they go to special events, they're sort of
Oh.
multi-purpose, jack of all trades, but it's all oriented towards, using the system. And we've been lucky enough to secure this type of money for several years, and it fully funds the sound.
Do you see this, Denise?
The mobility trainers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we actually, folks in our office, have used them, consumers have used them to, plan trips and figure out whether they can take a fixed route bus or use Star. Just a question, Karen, it says it covers 80% of the funds. Is this, the federal money covers 80, not 50% when it comes to operating or staff? I was just curious. I thought they only did that for capital, so.
No, well, yeah, it's complicated, but most of our money, I would say the vast majority of our federal money is 80%. And we can use it on the operating side. So it's, sometimes not everything we say is exactly 100%.
Right.
By the way, it's good.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution is carried. Thank you. Accept state transit capital funds. New York State supports flexible use of capital funding to address transit system needs through the transportation modernization and transit capital programs. CDTA was allocated $10,362,472 in modernization funds and $3,638,755 in transit capital funds. These funds were budgeted in our capital program and will be used to support the purchase of 40-foot and articulated buses to be delivered between November 2017 and May 2018. This time I'd ask for a motion to accept these funds in an amount of $14,001,227. That's resolution number 58 on page 27 in the packets.
I'll motion.
Mr. Pashon, thank you.
Second.
Second. Mark, thank you. Discussion on the resolution?
We could argue with it.
Take the money and vote.
Yeah.
Grateful for money.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is carried, thank you.
I'm sorry, can we go back, can I just, is this something, this has been in the planning work, these buses are ordered, and now we're getting the money for them, is that?
Well, yeah, and this is, I think we've talked about this.
Yeah.
I feel, unfortunately, maybe from my perspective, way too much. That's what I do. This is state money that we've advocated for a couple of years ago, and it's finally being released. So, we've gone ahead with the capital plan because the assumption was we're going to get the money. The question is, when are we going to get the money? So we've moved purchases through, and in fact, have a line of credit that allows us, to be able to do some things while we wait for the state money. This is the final administrative step in the process. Board resolution gets sent over to DOT. Thumbs up, 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, but we'll get it.
So this is gonna pay an outstanding debt? Is that it?
So
We have our buses coming in the fall. This money will pay for those buses coming in the fall.
Okay.
But this is part of the 5-year capital plan that we're working under right now. This is the first years.
Any other questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry, we already approved this. We went backwards. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I can send them 2 resolutions to show
Yeah.
you guys were emphatic in
We
your
liked it so much, we approved it twice.
So that means we get 28 million.
Yeah,
That's right.
thanks, Joe.
It's easy enough. I love bureaucrats.
Next item is to accept the state portion of 5 federal grants. CDTA is apportioned federal funds on an annual basis through the various transit capital and operating assistance programs. Section 5307 supports CDTA's bus and bus facilities program, bus shelter replacement program, passenger amenities, and preventive maintenance. Section 5339 supports CDTA's bus replacement program. Additionally, 2 highway performance and surface transportation grants were awarded in support of design and engineering for the River Corridor BRT. A summary of the funds is as follows. Preventive maintenance, $1,695,601. Purchase replacement toward an articulated bus, $35,000. Rehab renovate bus shelters, $18,000. Design and engineering of a busway is $180,000. And purchase replacement of a 40-foot buses is $272,135. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to accept the state portion of 5 federal grants for a total amount of $2,200,736. And that resolution is on page 30 in your board packets. Ms. Figueroa, thank you. Ms. Nugent, thank you. Discussion on this resolution.
How much should we apply for?
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer.
Like about double or a million more?
Phil may know.
This is
Might be an
a
appropriation.
pretty significant combination of funds here. The top of it, the 1.6 million comes from our formula grant, that's about $17 million total. And then these other grants are also pieces of other, they're portions of other grants that we have in there. So doing a rough number, right around $20 million in total of allocations that we've accessed and got money for.
So half of it is from the allocation.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. Our regular 5307, sometimes referred to formula allocation, is our sort of federal lifeblood, and that makes up about 17 million in total, of which we're about 1.7 million out of CTA's pocket for that. And the state is another 1.7 million for their share of it.
And how does that compare to, say, last year's?
I think it's somewhere between, right around 3% increase, I think was the number, and that is fairly well laid out in the bill as it gets passed, what the yearly increases will be, and usually they're very close to that.
Thanks.
So federal funding is formula-based, it's a combination of population, density, transit system size, and those kinds of ridership, 4 or 5 factors. So I think our bubble has been riding with, the bubble of increase, riding with a slight increase in population and an increase in ridership.
Now, did that formula change ever in the past 10 years? I know there was talk about it, was it?
Saratoga Springs became a high-density area, didn't it?
Yes, that's the only thing. Saratoga Springs used to be what's called a SUSA, small urbanized area. It was sort of managed through the state. Now that it's grown in population, now it is actually its own standalone, and we actually get these allocations. We actually get one for the 3 lower counties, if you will, and then another one for Saratoga County as well, separate. We just use them all in tandem.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I don't, good point, Dave, but I don't remember, we can find out. We used to get it in a different way.
Right.
Now we get it all, but I don't know what the net increase is as a result of it. Actually, probably relatively small, but we can think about that.
The design, engineering, busways, is that in-house money or is that consultant design stuff?
That money gets used for external engineers.
Is any funding based on distressed areas? You know how they're calling different sections of different cities, distressed areas, is that enter into any picture?
With the type of money that we go after in Federal Transit Administration, it usually is not one of the factors that comes into play. They tend to be isolated pots of money for a very focused purpose that can be accessed specific to some of the things that have happened in the South, I'm assuming you're referring to. So in terms of this no.
Okay.
In terms of what we get.
For the new members and for all the existing members, this is a very complicated thing to really follow. That's why we have a number of people who literally work on this every day, because you have your formula funds, you have your discretionary monies, you have special programs that are either annual, every 3 years, and then, the changing nature of the capital program at the state, where we've been successful in convincing our state leaders that we need state capital money here to supplement what we're doing. So we now have a state capital fund, which we just talked about, $14 or $15 million. And that all gets merged and under different sets of rules. There's one set of rules for federal funds, another set of rules for state funds, and they're really not the same. So we have people who move these funds to the appropriate spots and try to maximize the efficiency and use of that money. So you basically, here are the rules. We want to make sure that we maximize our abilities here. So there's a lot of movement of these. So a lot of times you'll say, is that going here and when? Well, sometimes it's money we already spent. Sometimes it's money we're not going to spend until 2019. It is confusing. I apologize. We do our best to explain it, but sometimes it's hard to keep track of these things.
Yes, Corey?
I think I have two things. One, I think where Georgie started that was, this isn't funding that we asked for like 10 million and we only got 2.2. This is a formula here. Some of the funding we get is actually grants. We apply for a certain amount, we may not get the full amount.
But that's seldom. The formula is one thing, but we seldom get the consolation prize. You get the discretionary pot, but seldom is a consolation prize.
Maybe I misspoke for what you were, I thought you were asking. But.
Yeah, I guess I was talking about more the non-formula based funds.
Discretionary.
Yeah.
Your project description, you're going to spend 3.7 million. Oftentimes, that's if you're going to get it.
Right.
This is the state's 10% match to the formula, right?
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Then there's the whole matching issue. That's what we're talking about here.
And the other thing, and I don't think this means much, but the last resolution and this one, the font is different, but it also seems like the wording is different. Is that because it's through the New York State DOT, or is that just, doesn't mean anything?
Yeah, they have different wording that's required based upon, requirements of DOT.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution is carried. All right, update items. So the audit committee. Sarah Matros gave us an internal audit monthly report. Work completed included closing out of several findings on past audits and continuing education activities. Work in progress includes updating Davis-Bacon procedures and training, and the drug and alcohol compliance review is ongoing. The investment committee did not meet the other day. It did meet today, and I forgot I was supposed to be at that meeting, so Mike is going to update me, and then I will make sure I get a report out to the rest of the board to update the rest of the board on what I missed. Thank you for carrying on. Appreciate it. Administrative discussion items. Risk management and workers' comp quarterly report. Our procedures require a quarterly review of the adequacy of the risk management self-insurance account and the workers' compensation self-insurance account. The committee has determined that our accounts are adequate at this time, and Amanda can provide details if anyone has any questions. Monthly management, the financial report. Mortgage recording tax was up 5% for the month, but is down 3% year to date. Customer fares are under budget due to credit for swiper products, and RRS and Rutzel Rail Station and facilities revenue are under budget. Part of that under budget with Rensselaer Rail is due to the fact that the parking deck, not the parking deck is under construction, but underneath the parking deck where the paid spaces are, some of those sections are closed off because of the construction above. So we're not realizing a full revenue opportunity there while we're undergoing construction.
Are we significantly under budget?
I'm sorry.
Is it a
percent of the budget for the month.
Yeah, but what's the number, because it's not
It's $57,000 overall,
your day.
so far year to date.
The parking is a big hunk.
Right.
And the piece on the customer affairs being under budget is that as we transition to Navigator cards, we have some of our universal access providers as well as the businesses that have our swiper cards. They're returning those to be refunded because the cards are not going to be used now. The Navigator's being used, so we're issuing refunds in bulk on those as they're coming back in, and it's not that ridership is down necessarily, it's just that that's a hit to our revenue as we return those payments that were made earlier. Wages are over budget due to extra weekdays and the state fair work that we did, but remain under budget for the year. Workers' compensation is over budget due to 5 loss of use awards. We are in a satisfactory cash flow position at this time. Non-financial report, the performance report. Total and fixed ridership were just about flat for the month and year to date. Star ridership was up 4% for the month. On-time performance was 73%, and there were 4 PMIs not on time. Missed trips were at 40 this month, and mean distance between service interruptions was at 22,787. Scheduled work was at 82%. There were 20 preventable and 27 non-preventable accidents, and 90% of customer complaints were closed within 10 days. Website page views were 915,258. We did have an executive session at the end of the committee meeting. Amanda gave us a pending litigation report. There was no action taken by the committee while we were in executive session. Unless there are any questions, that concludes my report. And I'm happy to be having Denise do next month's report as our new committee chair.
She won't have 3 resolutions, so.
I know, I took all the money, Denise.
Okay. I get to spend it, right?
Planning and Stakeholder Relations Committee, Mr. Sparana.
Oh, good. The committee met Thursday, September 21st. John gave us an update on the bike share program, which we call CDPHP cycle. For all who don't know, CDPHP is a HMO that serves the capital district and surrounding areas. Bike share started on July 27th of this year with 40 stations and 160 bicycles located through 4 counties. Through the past weekend, almost 7,000 rides have been taken and more than 1,800 members have signed up. I think that's a lot more than anybody expected. This is a pretty good program. You see the bikes all over the place, and surprised me, to be honest with you. Some interesting notes. Bikes are used more on weekends. The average bike rent total is for 24 minutes. The bikes have been ridden a total of 18,000 miles. Next step for us to take is to expand to 320 bikes in the spring, increase the number of docking stations, and integrate our Navigator card access. I think integrating the Navigator card is going to be a big deal. John also updated us on taxi cabs, the long-standing, what are we going to do? He reviewed the goals that included establishing regional rules and expectations for taxi providers. We will implement a regional fare structure and require all meters of cabs, or all meters in all cabs. We will also centralize requirements for vehicles and drivers. We will require credit card readers in all cabs. The new ordinances should be in place by January 1st of 18. Russ gave us an update on the capital projects report. It's in your packet. Some have speeded up and some have slowed down a little bit, but all in all, it's going as planned. The next, if there's no questions, anyone? Yes, no.
I wanna add that capital projects report, anyone that wasn't at that planning meeting, like, just read through it, it's pretty interesting, just to get an overview of everything that's going on right now, see the number of projects. It's quite extensive.
You know, try as we might to keep you updated, it's hard, because as Joe said, some of these things speed up, some of these things slow down. You know, I've taken to sending you pictures, I hope you don't mind, but we got them, it's the best way, if you're not in a community, to take a look, but, all in all, we've got our hands full, with plenty to manage. We're putting that money to good use.
Yeah, it's incumbent on board members to look around, see what's going on.
See something, say something.
Did you make that up?
I don't make up much.
Thank you, Joe. Done?
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, I thought you were asking for questions. I thought you were wrapping up.
The next meeting of the committee will be at noon on October 19th. If you have a chance, make it, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
I won't miss that one. Thank you, Joe.
Two questions. One, I don't see the capital project report in the packet. Is there page numbers or no?
It was in the performance
It was
oversight.
in the packet we got for the committee, right? Yeah,
We can get another
yeah,
too.
yeah, so it's probably.
Okay, so can you mail that out?
Yes.
Okay. And then the second question, are the committees meeting in November? I know we have a retreat instead of a board meeting.
No, and thank you for asking. We don't have committee meetings or a board meeting in November. We will meet in early December in order to accommodate the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays that impact our schedule. The retreat, and thank you all for getting back to me, we have locked that in for Wednesday, November 8th. Carm and I had a phone conference with our consultant yesterday morning. And based on what our aggressive agenda is for that day, he has asked if we could extend from 9 to 4. I know I'd asked you for 9 to 3. He's a little worried that we won't get through everything by 3 o'clock. So if I could get one more hour from everybody, I'd appreciate it. But it would be the 8th, 9 to 4. And then for the governance committee, that would be Joe, Denise, Georgie, myself, along with Carm and Mike and Chris as the chief staff liaisons. We would have a separate governance session the following morning from 9 until 1. So the 9th from 9 until 1. I know that's chewing up a lot of time for everybody, but we promise it will be worth your time. We only ask for these once a year.
This is right around the election day, correct? November 7th.
Day after.
Day after.
Yeah, I might
Pardon?
have to call in sick.
I don't think.
So November 9th, then we should plan the 9 to 1. 9 to 1.
Yeah, and this is kind of fluid, you know, hopefully we get all the work done. And some of you know the consultant, you know, it's Doug Eady, who, some of you love Doug Eady. Dave and I respect him a lot, I hope all of you all do. He is the architect of our governance model, so I can't think of anybody better to come in and, as we've described it in our discussion, to tune it up and to introduce the members to what we do, why we do it, how we do it. Nothing is, you know, set in stone or concrete. He's engaging. You will not be engaged.
Well worth it.
I think it will be well worth our time as a group, yes. And individually, I think it will be helpful as well. In order to make sure that we're all prepared. He will ask to schedule a conference call with each one of you to get your thoughts on what it is you want to get out of being a board member at CDTA, what your expectations of us are, so that we have some of the legwork already done, and that day together will be as productive as it can be, because we'll already have laid a foundation with each of us having an opportunity to have chatted with him ahead of time. So as this evolves, and those calls can be done at, certainly your convenience, I would think, no more than an hour, I would think, on a call. I wouldn't think it would even be an hour for the most part, for most. So it should be a nice day, and I think we'll get a lot out of it.
TBD, we had thought maybe the Desmond, but I don't know, I think some of our last experiences with the Desmond have been less than, well, we're looking, but somewhere along that corridor, I'll just leave it there. Desmond, Marietta, easy to access, accessible by bus, all that kind of stuff.
The bus goes right there.
Yep.
Okay. CEO's report, Mr. Basile.
Thank you, Mr. Stacco. My report is in your packet. The beauty of the committee reports is that a lot of what I write in the report is either covered or we've talked about. You see lots of decorations in front of you. You saw a pink bus downstairs. A lot of activities going on. A lot of it revolves around our award and now designation as best mid-sized system in North America. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. Importantly, the staff is beginning the preliminary assembly of budget information, all the background information that we need to start talking about forecasting what 2018-19, believe it or not, is going to look like. That is coordinated through our planning and stakeholder relations committee, and we will be talking about budget information and where we see the company going and what resources we have available to us for several months. We've also started our legislative advocacy work, both at the state level and at the local level, meeting mainly with staff people right now, mainly in the governor's office and DOB. At some point, we'll cycle in and ask board members to be part of that process when we meet with legislators and readers. And that's coordinated again on the state side through NIPTA and our lobbyists, and with CDTAs on the CDTA side with our lobbyists from Jackson Lewis. So a lot of budget information to be forthcoming. As Joe and Dave and others mentioned, CDPHP cycle's off to a great start. We are getting great cooperation from our partners at CDPHP. I think that was a natural marriage, and we see it expanding as we move to year 2. The plan is for the program to go on winter hiatus on or about November 30th. It will close down to April 1-ish, April 15th. We'll get the bikes in, clean them up, tune them up, do whatever is necessary. And as Joe said, in year 2, it will double in size. So we fully expect the ridership statistics to double, if not more, as well. Construction updates. The membrane replacement and deck repair, as Dave said, is ongoing. We hope to have that substantially completed this construction season. So far, the weather, last couple of months, the weather has been very, very good, especially for work that involves concrete pouring, and there's lots of it. And the membrane work is obviously very sensitive to water. That's the problem that we're trying to resolve here. But that's ongoing and going well. Larkin, Washington is moving very quickly now, and you can, those pictures, hopefully if you take a ride by, you can start to see what that's going to look like. I was with some staff people at the governor's office today, and they have an opportunity. They were surprised to learn that we're managing that project. I reminded them that the governor announced it. So they are very impressed with what's going on and understand that it is a very difficult intersection right now, one of the more difficult intersections in upstate New York. So it's in addition to doing the good work that we do, it shows how, we benefit the communities that we serve. That, in addition to the work that's been going on along the river corridor, where we're upgrading sidewalks and access to what will be new stations, but are now bus stops. That a lot of concrete work, curb cuts, and Ross had a picture or slides that we showed at the planning and stakeholder relations meeting. A lot of the work that we're doing is intersection calming. So we're slowing people down so that pedestrians can move through these intersections much more safely than they have before. There's sort of a common theme to a lot of that work. Basically, we're making the intersections smaller and more friendly, and motorists have to be more cognizant of what's happening around them, that there are pedestrians, there are people walking to bus stops. So all of that is good for CDTA, good for our customers, and good for the communities that we serve. Our CAT ADL project's moving right along. Construction guys put up a 120-foot tower last month, which is really the focal point of the communication system. Our new communication center down on the first floor is just about ready, I guess. Waiting for a few odds and ends.
Video wall.
Video wall. So if you're looking for a place to watch Super Bowl, I guess you go to a big video wall. Well, I was hoping before Super Bowl Sunday. That, to first remember, that's a multi-million-dollar project that, not only improves communication, but is the basis for a lot of the information that we're going to use to, provide the dashboard to staff and the board on operations. So all that's going well. Our annual United Way campaign kicked off, I guess it kicked off a couple of weeks ago. Yesterday, our employees organized a car wash out front and washed cars. We thought it was just going to be washing employees' cars for a $5 donation, but we were pleasantly surprised that people in the neighborhood either saw the sign, saw the people, or found out through word of mouth and journeyed down. A lot of people who shop at Honest Weight, I don't know if we put a poster up or what, but they came down and got their cars washed. So we do a lot of those events to sort of keep bringing people together, let them have a little fun during the workday, promote camaraderie. All good. I'm sure you saw the pink bus. I'm sure you see the pink. Jamie Watson is our queen of pink. And the Real Men Wear Pink campaign is underway. I see Corey has fully adopted the uniform. We're encouraging our employees to be involved in that. There are all kinds of pink activities planned for the month of October. The group of men, one of which I'm a group of 24 of us, all community leaders, have set a goal of $100,000. I think we're gonna hit that without much trouble. We've got some real adept fundraisers as part of our team. But if you want to be involved in that, it's a great effort, and just ask Jamie. Last but not least, our annual Fall Festival and CDTA Open House is the 5th of October. We basically shut the front down, turn it into a fall festival environment, run a bunch of things like a scarecrow contest, which is maybe the most, I think, coveted prize at CDTA right now among our employees, to win the scarecrow contest. And we turn the paint booth into a haunted house. We invite 200 or 300 or 400 elementary school students, and we chaperone them through the property, and we have a whole bunch of public safety types of things. Last year we even had the New York State Police dive tank and team here. There's a safety theme throughout. If you can stop by on that day, I know Joe and a couple other people have stopped by in other years. It's fun, and the kids in the community get a kick out of it.
It's worth it just to see the kids.
Yeah, I agree. Just a couple of notes from the activity report or meeting summary. We're working from a statewide perspective to identify what the message is to state elected leaders this year. We feel that our message needs to be upgraded. We've had increases in capital funds and increases in operating assistance, and basically the message is we really need this money, and here's what we're doing. We've brought on a public relations consultant to help us with that message. It needs to change a little bit, and we also need to differentiate ourselves from everyone else who is at the Capitol asking for more money. So it also needs to be consistent with what's going on in Albany, what's going on in Syracuse, Buffalo, Rochester, Ithaca, and all other communities. So it's got to be consistent yet have enough recognizability to what's going on in each of the properties to resonate with elected leaders. I think the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. We have another new class of operators in training, 14 people. They started a couple of weeks ago. It's basically the new norm. It had been in the past that we'd have a class or two throughout the year and be done. The new norm is back to back to back to back to back with no real end in sight as we work to get up to budgeted headcount levels, but also to sustain it. Just like all of you, I'm sure, are seeing in your workplaces, people just don't stay in one place for 35 years anymore. They'll come, they'll stay for a year, they'll stay for 5 years, and they move on. And there's a multitude of reasons. We're no different than any other business. We're finding a lot of people just, I want to move. You know, I checked with Fred a couple weeks ago about some people who had left, and where'd they go? One moved to Philadelphia, one moved to Texas, one moved to, so it's a more mobile society. It's you know, satisfaction is defined differently. So we're seeing it just like everyone else, and we're adjusting. So it's taxing our HR department right now, and they're working overtime to get it done. We talked about the state fair. We had about 50 people involved in that, 50 operators and maintenance people, mainly operators, maintenance people, supervisors who, you know, trekked out to the state fair every day for 10 days and drove the 4 buses that we had stationed there. I can tell you that the governor's office was very appreciative. The people at Central and Syracuse were very appreciative, and we, along with our partners in Rochester and Buffalo, I think really helped out folks at Central. I'm not sure they could have gotten it done without us. The fair broke all records in attendance. I just saw a number, I think it was 247,000 transit rides through the 10 days.
Did we transport people, or were they pooling stations?
Oh, no, we were picking people up and dropping people off.
From parking lots.
Parking lots.
Into the fairgrounds.
Yep. Oh yeah, we were out there for a full, 8 or 10 hour shift. Our buses stayed at Central headquarters, and Central staff fueled them and performed any minor maintenance that needed to be done in the 10 days. Our maintenance guys stayed in touch with them, and we're very familiar with each other, so that was good. But the rest is, I think, pretty self-explanatory. If you see something in there that you want questions answered, just let me know. I try to bounce around a lot. It helps me. Staff's happy when I'm moving, especially when I'm moving outside the building. But I also, regarding the award, I want to thank all of our staff, our employees, board members. This award didn't happen because of any one person in the department. Basically, a team effort, and just the collaborative dedication of everybody in the room and people who aren't here. We keep telling the community it's their award. It's not just CDTA's award. To be named the best at anything means that you have a lot of great support. So thanks to everybody. It's nice to be called the best at what we do. We'll be down to the annual meeting, several of us, to accept the award. We'll bring it back. We promise. I hope we bring it back in one piece. But
It'll be in a well-packaged box.
Well-packaged box, hermetically sealed. But it's from a guy who's done this for 36 years, it's a big deal. And thank you to everybody for all your help.
Carmen and I chatted earlier this week, actually I guess late last week after the committee meetings, and thought that it might be a good time to update the board really on all of the things that went into our application. So I want to do that, but I want to lay a little bit of foundation too. I mean, the application that was submitted is, you have to hit on a number of specific accomplishments, and they're all over the map in the sense that it's sustainability, it's diversity, it's your maintenance, it's your operations, it's a whole number of areas that everybody who completes the application for the award is filling in the same boxes. So in that sense, it's uniform, but the story that you tell is what sets your system apart from the other systems who are applying for the award. And I had the opportunity for 3 years to be a member of the awards committee. And I know every year when I came back from the selection meeting, I said to Carm, we could win this. You know, we can do this. We're doing all the things that these other systems that are winning this award are doing. And in my opinion, biased as I am, we're doing it better. So this year we did apply. We couldn't apply while I was on the committee. That's one of the requirements. Your system can't submit for any awards while you have a member from your system on the committee. So we did this year, and I also know from having served on that committee that it is not uncommon that often either an individual application or a system application is not accepted the first time through because you're competing against really the best of the best in your industry. So it's not uncommon that a system or an individual will apply multiple times over a couple of years before their application actually rises to the level of being the best of the bunch. We hit it on the first time. So that I think is, again, a true credit to us. It's not a reflection of who we competed against, because I know that everybody that we competed against could have in their own way been a winner of this award. So a little bit of narrative, just to give the overview and make sure that everybody knows how much went into this. You're limited in the space in how much you can write, and I think we over-submitted when we went in the first time, and they sent our application back and said, you wrote too much, you have to cut back on what you said. So as hard as our staff worked to put the words in the right boxes, they had to rework the words to make sure that we were still saying the right thing in fewer words. So, you know, credit to those of you who were part of that process. But what goes into a piece? So being named the best mid-size system of the year by the American Public Transportation Association is the icing on the cake for CDTA, for our board, and for the great people who work here. It is also a great achievement for our region and for the business and government leaders who work with us, for our developers and others who work so hard to make this a great place to live and work. It emphasizes the need for better mobility, for a deeper menu of choices, and ease of movement for a progressive and thoughtful region. And some of you know that we were also recognized in the region as being one of the top 25 places to live for people under 35 years of age. So this is a regional effort and a regional accomplishment in all that's being done here. It is CDTA's award, but it belongs to everyone in the Capital Region because we don't work alone. Everything we do involves collaboration and partnership with individuals, with business, and government leaders throughout our region. So I thought you might be interested in knowing a few of the things that were included in our nomination submission and what set us apart from other transit systems in the mid-size category. Probably best to start with our innovation platform. The platform is full of projects that push the envelope of innovation and look to create a better system for everyone. It ranges from our smart card and mobile ticketing system, to our CAD AVL system, to our popular universal access program. The platform includes a route network that has been thoughtfully and creatively redesigned on more than one occasion now. Based on customer and community input, the network puts services where people want them and need them the most. This network of routes has produced outstanding results for customers, wide service spans, frequencies unheard of at bus-only systems, and a network of service that is easy to understand and use. Our maintenance program and team of employees is top rated. By improving the technical competency of our employees and by investing in them, maintenance results are outstanding. The focus on prevention has resulted in miles between failures at industry record levels and core results in vehicle performance at levels as good as we have ever seen. The transit fleet of vehicles is new, it is modern, it is spot clean, and it is pleasant to look at. Add to that, we have upgraded the appearance of stations, shelters, and stops, and we ensure that every facility is attractive and inviting. You need to look and feel good to be good. We've introduced upstate New York's first and only bus rapid transit line. We have 2 more in the planning stage as we work towards a goal of 40 miles of bus rapid transit services. We have added 60-foot articulated buses along busy corridors to better match resources to demand. And we are growing and improving our popular service for people with disabilities, which we call STAR. All this is being done with a keen focus on our workplace and ensuring that we work safely and efficiently. Workplace injuries have been reduced every year for the last 10 years, driving our self-insured workers' compensation costs to industry lows. Employee injuries are at the lowest level in CDTA history. We walk the talk, we preach safety, and our employees practice safety in everything they do. We support sustainable travel throughout the region and are leading the way with CDPHP Cycle. At the same time, we have initiated a regional van pooling program and promote car sharing and ride sharing as must-have additions to our mobility menu. We offer a guaranteed ride home program to Navigator customers to ensure connections at all times of the day and night. Intelligent sustainability will always be our goal in everything we do. The foundation of our workplace is our employees. They have carried us to all the success that I've mentioned. In return, we've developed a tremendous package of wages, benefits, and training opportunities for our employees. We believe in recognizing outstanding performance and do so in an environment that cultivates success. Ridership is the most important way to measure the success and relevance of a transportation system. At the end of the day, customers give you thumbs up by using the system and encouraging others to try your services. Less than 10 years ago, our annual ridership was consistently in the $13.5 million range. For the last 3 years, our annual boarding count has hovered at or above 17 million. The results speak for themselves. Our branding efforts are sharpened, and we have worked diligently to improve and brighten our image. This is a progressive and partnership-oriented company that business leaders want to partner with. That didn't happen by accident. It is strategic and purposeful, and I'm proud of that work. Our submission for this award was detailed and reflective. Performance metrics that are required for this nomination match up with the narrative. In other words, our performance numbers and our marketing paragraphs say the same thing. Results matter, and CDTA has the numbers to prove that. Innovative, creative, thoughtful, and award-winning is the best way to describe CDTA. I'm proud of our board, of our staff, and all of the employees who work here at CDTA. You are the reason we are the best mid-sized system in North America. Thank you.
Well done.
Yeah, well done.
Can you explain what a mid-sized system is?
Yeah, after breaks, 4 categories. Yeah, 4. It's by board, basically. So we're in the 4 million to 20 million category.
Right.
We're with the Providences. We're with the Columbus, Ohio's. We're with the
Centro and
all the upstate systems, obviously. Louisville, Kentucky, Reno, Nevada, a lot of the Michigan system, Jacksonville, Florida last year's winner. So, you know, Jamie Watson has been working with the people at APTA for 2 months on this. So when we go down and accept the award, there will be a video presentation that will be a little shorter than Dave's speech, but not much. And it will highlight a lot of the things that Dave spoke about. I'm pretty anxious. We won't get to see it until we're there, but we'll certainly get it back here. That's, we're categorized that way. Some bigger than us, probably more than a little smaller than us than anything.
But it's very hard for a northeast company to compete with somebody in the southeast simply because of weather. I mean, we had 6 months of get out and get under, and I mean, that speaks a lot.
Well, and you're also competing against, I think, the category size. I mean, not that everybody applies in any given year by any means, but I think there's, among APTA's membership, there are 62 systems in that category. So, and some of them, depending on where you are in the country, Nashville is a mid-sized system, Memphis is a mid-sized system. But Nashville's going through a resurgence, and there's a lot of money available in Nashville that's supporting transit right now. We have to do what we do with very good support from our partners, but it's not as though the buckets of money are overflowing. And in some parts of the country, they actually are, because there's a tremendous investment in transit as part of an overall economic development initiative for a region. So, we're making the dollar go as far as we can make the dollar go, and we appreciate all the funding that we have from our federal and state supporters and our local supporters as well. But it's not with unlimited resources that we do what we do. We have to be real careful about how we spend what we spend. So
that's a critical piece of this. Nashville's the fastest growing, one of, if not the fastest growing city in America. Capital region growth rate, 2%. Great place to live and work, we all know that, but people aren't moving here in droves, but they're moving to places like Nashville in droves, and in the Southwest and the Sun Belt, there's all kinds of new funding sources. People in Texas are, compared to us, are Washington. They're looking for capital projects to start, whereas we are, we have to be very careful. And we talked at the board level, I can't, how many times about, when you make an investment in operations, that investment of 10 people is there forever. You're going to hire those people, assuming they're going to work here for 30 years, you're going to pay their health care costs, all that kind of thing. You have to be very careful. That's, one of the reasons why we've, been so methodical in catching up to this headcount target. We don't want to overcommit. Be left with 20 people who we don't have work for. I don't think we're anywhere close to that, but when you're in another system like that Dave mentioned, you don't have to worry about those kinds of things. Everything's gleaming, everything's new, and everything's. So when you tell the story that actually the two architects are John Scherzer and Chris Desney, and I should point out that they took a different approach this year. I think I may have mentioned this before, but they kind of sort of did an interview approach, where people gave them information. And one of the problems is people sometimes don't tell you enough about the good work that they're doing. So what they did is they sat with every department or department head and said, okay, tell me more about this. Tell me more about the accident trend. Tell me more about what's going on in maintenance. Well, tell us, and from there you can construct. I think we did. And we can send you, it's about 8 pages. We can send you the submission. Actually, we'll send that to you.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
But I think that approach was a little different. It got people to open up a little bit and tell their story. And sometimes people don't brag enough. Oh, good.
Okay.
So just quick under the good of the order, an update on my travels. I was, just before the July board meeting, I was at the Transit Board Member Conference. I sort of oversaw that conference in a sense as the chair of the Transit Board Member Committee at APTA. I participated in one session with Doug Eady, our board consultant. I think the session went well, and I only say that because we ran out of time. and ended up having an impromptu meeting with several board members for about 90 minutes at the end of the day. So it was a good session. Other sessions, there were board governance sessions, there were safety and security sessions. It was a good conference. I was there from Saturday through Tuesday. Ended up having to bug out very early Tuesday morning, so I missed the last half of I missed half a day at the end of the conference. Corey attended with me. It was nice to spend some time with Corey, and Corey brings to that group a little different perspective, as he does to our table, because he sees things from a different point of view than we do. Corey was not shy in raising his hand and offering input, and that input was very well received from the folks at the table. So, I encourage you to continue to do that, because as you know from attending some of these, you're kind of unique in the room, that you're coming from a perspective different than most of us do. So you see things differently than we do, and it brings a different perspective than what we might otherwise see. So, Corey?
Oh, thank you, Dave. I appreciate being called unique. I just wanted to tag on to that, because we've talked about this before at the board level, of how important it is to attend, especially the board members conference. I know several of us have attended in the past. Next year, I think they're going to do things a little differently. But two of the things I just wanted to make a point of was, I think it was the last day at the lunch, we had a discussion about board members and how important transit is. So one thing I took away from it was they made a point that the great equalizers in our society are education and transportation. So you have to be able to have an education, and you have to get somewhere, and to move forward in life. So I thought that was really something that hit me, especially being on the board. And then the second thing I wanted to make sure we all remembered was they made a big point of talking about, as board members, what kind of mark or legacy will we leave with the transit agency that we serve. And a lot of times we get not bogged down, but we get into the habit of coming to committee meetings and going over information and things like that. And I don't know as I have a little different take on it, but what can we do with the position we have to make things better for everyone in the long run? And I just thought that was really important, because I saw a lot of other board members who attended who they kind of lit up at that, and they were like, there's really things I could be doing back home differently, and so I thought that was something that we could take away too. So thank you, Dave, and I look forward to traveling to Atlanta with you, the group, to accept the award as well.
Likewise. Any announcements? Upcoming meetings are scheduled for October 25th, November 8th, which is the day of our board retreat, and December 20th.
It is, but that was because I think we thought the retreat would be later than it ended up being. Okay. I guess could be open for negotiation.
Okay. All right. We may seek some input on the December 20th. If we can move that up a little bit, it might help to bridge what's otherwise a 2-month between meetings, 60 days in between meetings instead of 30. So we'll do a poll on calendars before we make any change, just to see what availability is. Motion to adjourn. Ms. Baker-Bowen, thank you.
Second?
Second, Mr. Sporana, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.
Thank you.